This week's Nifty Gifties and F5 Live is proudly powered by the Microsoft Store. Whether you're looking for a new laptop, a tablet, an Xbox, games, or a whole lot more, you can get them at the Microsoft Store. And remember that current students, faculty, parents, and active military can save up to 10% off almost everything. To browse the products and learn more about the discounts, you can go to f5live.tv/Microsoft. All right, we are going to be talking about several of these sponsors tonight in different places. So let's start tonight by talking about Amazon and its acquisition spree it's currently on, in particular, the newest acquisition that was announced this week of iRobot. No, Will Smith is not involved in this one. There will be no slaps involved. Instead, this is the iRobot that makes the Roomba. Generally, an acquisition like this would not be overly interesting to me. A company with a robotics division, with a creepy little roly robot buying another robotics company, is generally not that interesting. The difference is that Roomba has a lot of information about you, and in particular your house, which has some red flags up. So in the early days of the Roomba, it was basically like a bat just hoping that it didn't run into something. And oftentimes it would run into walls and, back up and spin around and go off in a random direction. But now these things know the full layout of your house. They know the difference between walls and furniture. They've got a lot of information. They even use AI to determine, based on structure, that this is a kitchen and this is a living room, even if you never go in and tell it that that's what it is, which you can. You can confirm its suspicions. But there's a lot of concern surrounding Amazon now having access to this data describing the internal layout of your house. Sure, this isn't the first access that they have, right? They've got their Ring division, which has security cameras and stuff, which could map your house. But in this case, they're purchasing the data. Somebody, people own these devices, maybe because they didn't want Amazon involved, and now they are. It's an interesting situation to all of a sudden have a new company have access to your house layout. Like, for you, Avram, I know you are not a fan of the digital assistant speakers and things like that because you don't want companies inside your house.
Although we do have them, I'm just not a fan.
I know. But here you've got, an interesting difference in that, people didn't sign up to be part of the Amazon ecosystem, and now they are.
I mean, yeah, it's troubling. I mean, on the other hand, I don't know if is Amazon worse with your data than iRobot? I don't know.
True.
Right? Like, we're assuming. I mean, I don't know that this is the worst invasion of privacy that Amazon is
Sure.
Involved in, or I shouldn't even say Amazon's involved in. It's not necessarily Amazon's fault per se. It's that people keep buying stuff that gives Amazon more and more and more access, or
Sure.
Google more and more access to their life,
or any other number of companies. We're not going to pick on those two companies in particular.
No.
There's lots of companies that make products that give weird
fair
access.
enough. I guess I'm just thinking of the assistants there.
These two in particular, right, are high profile. They've both had concerns with privacy. Google famously, and Amazon with Ring in particular, giving up video data without warrants to police and things like that.
Right. So, I mean, there's now what could the iRobot do? I mean, obviously it's going to have a map of your home. So, okay. I mean, I guess it'll know where your furniture is, but I mean, most people's homes have floor plans that are public record. So knowing
True.
the rooms of the house is not hard to information for anyone to get. Knowing where their furniture is I mean, could it be used to say your house is a mess? I mean, yeah, I'd be embarrassed about that one. That they would find the amount of toys and stuff that were on the floor. But I don't even know if that would. I mean, I guess it detected that there are objects in its way, but it doesn't have a camera, so I don't know if it would know what the objects were. I
I don't
mean,
know if that's true.
oh, it does have a camera.
I think it has a full Connect built in. Based on what I've seen, there I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the reasons this topic is here tonight is because Prime Day ended up putting one in my living room.
Right.
and and I have there we've got an unboxing video that we'll be publishing soon. But it's when you look at the front array of this thing, and granted, I have, as I tend to do, I go big or I don't go at all. So this is I think they've stolen all their names from Intel. I think it's the i7. So it's one of the higher end ones, but it looks like it's got a full Connect like sensor array across the front of it. It looks like it might have several cameras, including an infrared. And I'll tell you, the scans that it makes are incredibly detailed. So for sure it has LiDAR. I know that. But it looks like it's got several cameras across the front. Now, what kind are they? Are they just infrared? Are they looking for dots? Are they, infrared dots? What are they doing? I don't know. But it does look like there are cameras across the front. Are you looking up tech specs?
No,
Okay.
I don't know if we really know if it has, but I think the thing is, yeah. I mean, there's obviously concerns. But the amount of stuff that people allow in their homes really is a limit to privacy. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think it is of some concern because who knows where that data could eventually end up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Could it be that somebody is involved in like a child custody case and is like, I'm sorry, but you can see this other parent is a total slob because the Roomba says that they're always picking up dirt, or there's always, well, not always, that there's stuff all over the floor. The fact that it's picking up dirt is actually probably a good thing because that means that you have a vacuum running. But
Fair, fair.
you know, but yeah, I mean, I would definitely be concerned about the uses of this data, um, what it could be used for, or hey, could they be sharing that with your home insurance provider?
Sure.
Like, oh yeah, look, their house is a total mess. You should charge them. It's unsafe. I don't know. Uh, Raise the premium. I, I don't know exactly where it ends up, but I just always worry about stuff that's being shared,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps with other companies, the government, other individuals who might be able to use it against me in some way. So
Right. And when you take into consideration some of the other acquisitions, right? Like the healthcare company that they just purchased a couple weeks ago, which may or may not go through. That one obviously is going to be subject to some pretty severe governmental scrutiny. But, when you start looking at all these things that all produce a lot of interesting and personal data, it starts to become a problem. And I'm not saying Amazon evil, stop using, or anything like that, right? I use them a lot. We're going to mention them in a couple of segments. But but anytime an organization of any stripe starts to pull together these weird disparate bits and pieces, like the healthcare company, that one's a weird acquisition, and it has a lot of data implications. This one is a little bit more of a reasonable acquisition for a company that's already got a product that is a home robot, right? It makes sense for them to want to acquire iRobot. possibly the biggest company in the home robotics space is iRobot. So that makes sense to bring in some of the biggest expertise, but there's also a lot of data that comes with it. Are they going to be using that to monetize you, right? Because that's always one of the questions. Are they going to be selling information about your home in some way, shape, or form? Who knows? It's all strange when all this data starts to come together. So, I don't know. Maybe absolutely nothing will come of it. Maybe it gets stepped on. Probably not. They are doing a lot of big data-based acquisitions, and there's already an investigation into them over data, in particular the seller information, using it to build their own white label products. So, maybe there will be extra scrutiny here. Certainly on the medical side, there's going to be, because anytime there's a medical acquisition, I mean, Caremark and CVS were both medical companies, and there was a huge amount of scrutiny there. So, who knows? We'll definitely keep an eye on it. But I guess we will have an unboxing video of one of these up soon. So, use it as a little bit of a promo. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course hit the notification bell, because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to PLUGHITZlive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.